Hey, this is Awesome Arcades. In this video, I am showing you our stand-up two-player Typhoon Arcade. I almost called it the Tornado. This is the Typhoon Arcade. And so the Typhoon Arcade is a seated machine that has an optional base. And so without the base, here, I'll move this out of the way. You can see that this has a base. This is an 11-inch riser. And so without the base, this machine is 63 inches tall. You would play it while sitting, so like with a folding chair. With the base, it raises it to the height of one of our stand-up games, which is 74 inches. So this Typhoon is going to be the same height as our other two-player stand-up cabinets, like the Tornado or the Deluxe Classic Upright. So again, it's 74 inches. The width of this cabinet is actually 31 inches. Now, a standard household door is 30 inches. And so technically, width-wise, this would not fit. But I should point out, when this machine ships, this thing here is called the control panel. This actually ships unattached. It's mounted in some brackets. And so the side profile of this game, which is how it would ship, is about 25 inches. So this will actually fit through any standard household door. This machine has a 32-inch LED monitor. It is a wide viewing angle monitor. So 32-inch LED is the widest screen, the biggest screen of any arcade that we sell. In addition, wide viewing angle just means that if you look at it from an extreme angle, like off to the side, you'll notice you can still see the screen. LED monitors were never designed for you to view them at a really extreme or side angle. And if you've ever been looking at a laptop, and you'll notice if you kind of walk off to the side and you look at that monitor at too extreme an angle, you can't really see the monitor. You can't see the screen very well. It kind of washes out. And so it's important that you get any arcade that you look at, and all the monitors that we use are wide viewing angle screens. They're visible up to 178 degrees. Some companies don't use them. They're a little more expensive, but they are important in terms of arcade monitors. And so there's a little door on the front of the machine. When you get it, I've already removed that. Inside, you see those blinking lights. That is normal. Get your stereo amplifier there, power supply. That button you would want to press if you wanted to make changes. So this board that the machine is running is called a 3188 JAMA. The 3188 is the number of games. So the title of any board is the number of games on that board. And so, for example, the 750-in-1 JAMA, which is also compatible with this machine, has 750 games, right? And so inside the cabinet, what you're going to find is this guy here. This is called a JAMA harness. All JAMA harnesses fundamentally look the same. They've got 3 wires here, black, red, yellow, a space, and then a bunch of wires. On your JAMA board, now this is a different JAMA board, but all JAMA boards look the same in that they have these teeth here. Kind of looks like an old Nintendo game where you'd kind of blow into the teeth there and get it to work. And so they have different cases, but basically to plug your board in, you take that thing, you match up these 3 wires, black, red, yellow, with those 3 pins where there's a little space. So that tells you where these 3 go. And basically you're going to take this, and I'm holding the phone so I can't do it, but you're going to take that and you're going to put that there and then gently push down with your thumbs. That'll pop right on there. And then of course you plug in your monitor. That's your VGA cable right there. That's how you plug in the board. This is a different Marquee. And so we're going to be getting a bunch of different kinds of Marquees. That's an old one that we had. People didn't really seem to like it. So we're using this one now that says Arcade, but we're getting a couple of new ones. One's going to say Awesome, which is the name of our business, and it's going to be in a font that looks just like the Galaga font. That's 2 screws. If you wanted to lift that out, there's just a little bracket that goes on the top. Looks something like that. And you could swap that out really easily, or we could do that for you. If you wanted to get a top that said something like your business name, your family crest, I can do that. If you wanted one that says like Miss Pac-Man or Marvel, there's a company in the product description on our website that can provide you with any type of art that you want. He's got all the various dimensions for the products that we sell. And if you want, I can even start the conversation for you. Like if you say, hey, I want to get something, I'll email him and CC you, and then you guys can start the conversation. I cannot ship it if it has something that's trademarked or licensed, but I can certainly point you in the right direction. And I mean, it takes 2 seconds to swap. It's super easy. And so I'm going to show you a little more about this game board now. I should point out that this machine is designed to play what are called horizontal games. Horizontal games are games that move left to right. And so in the arcade game world, there are two kinds of games. Games that are called horizontal games and games that are called vertical games. This concept kind of confuses people on the website, so I'll explain it here. Horizontal games are games that are played on a TV that is installed in landscape. Landscape just means that's the same direction that your TV sits on your TV stand at home. Horizontal games are games that move left to right. Games like Defender, Super Mario Brothers, Asteroids, Street Fighter, games like that. Vertical games are games where we've taken a TV and we've turned it 90 degrees to the left and installed it in portrait. And so if you look at, I'm going to step back here, our cocktail arcades, here's another one that I'm working on. These monitors, so if you took that monitor and you turned it that way and then put it down in here, that would allow you to play games like Miss Pac-Man, Space Invaders, where you shoot from bottom to top, Galaga. Now, this board allows you to do both games, both kinds of games on one screen. And I should say that, 5 years ago, if you called me and said, hey, I want a machine that plays Super Mario Brothers and one that plays Miss Pac-Man, we couldn't do it. You had to buy two different machines because of how the monitor is installed. But this board is really cool. It actually allows you to play vertical games, which are normally displayed like this, from this landscape monitor. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And so, one thing I'll point out, when you plug this game in, it's going to say page 1 of, let me get to the full. Oh, I entered a game here. Let me back out of this. And so, just so you know, to enter a game, you press the A button. If you want to exit out of that game, you press and hold the one-player start button for about 2 seconds. You can either continue or you can exit out. But once you're at the menu screen here, I keep doing the same thing here. I should probably go back and edit this video, but I'm not gonna. I'll let you see my mistakes here. And so there we go. So the B button, page 1 of 319. So there's 10 choices per page for a total of 3,188 games. People say, well, it's going to take me forever to scroll through those. You can press down and scroll one page at a time. One game at a time. So if you press and hold down. Now, if you press right, it'll scroll one page. If you press and hold right, it'll rapid scroll. So it is pretty fast for you to scroll through the games. But one of the other cool things that you can do is you can use the search function here. Oh, and I should point out, these titles have been translated from Chinese and they're not exactly correct. For example, D Kong 3. That is Donkey Kong 3. It's pretty similar, but you may not know. Down here is Mario. So that is Mario Brothers. Cool thing is it's going to show you what it looks like. So if you're looking for a title and you're kind of in the neighborhood, you'll be able to see what it looks like before you enter it. Here's one of the more difficult ones. For example, TMNT. That is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you didn't know that, you might have a hard time finding it. So what do we do about that? Well, over here, it says here we can do a search. So I want to find Pac-Man. So A, B, C, D, E, F. One player start. And it's the same over here. By the way, these are Sanwa competition 8-direction joysticks. So these are top of the line. And so we're going to go over here and it says search with the B button. So we're going to do B. We come over here to the search and we want to search Pac-Man. So let's type in man and see what comes up. M-A-N. Now you notice over here we see the title that we were looking for. So to get from here back over to there, it says press the D button. So again, we've got A, B, C, D. So we're going to press the D button. And we're back over here. We're going to go down to Pac-Man. So to enter Pac-Man, we're going to press A. Not the one-player start button, but the A button. A will enter the game. Now, once you enter into this game, you have effectively this machine has become this game. And so once you're in the game, then you would just do the normal thing that you would do in an arcade. You would press the one-player start button. This is already set up on free play, so you don't have to add a credit. If it was not on free play, you would have to add credits. And so we're going to press the one-player start button. Now, Pac-Man is a vertical game. Normally, you cannot play Pac-Man on a horizontal screen or a landscape monitor. And so I'm going to show you what this game does to solve that. It doesn't fill up the full screen. It does, but what it's going to do is it's going to take the game and it's going to frame that into the original aspect ratio. So I've seen some other boards, they'll just stretch that vertical game out. Some people don't like that. I didn't like it. I'm a purist. I want it to look like the original. So what it does is it just bars off some of the space on the side there, and then it frames this into a 4:3 aspect ratio. 4:3 is how it originally showed up on the old cathode tube ray monitors. And so not all vertical games will frame it this way. Some will have black bars on both sides. Some will frame it on this side with the space on this side. But what it will do is it will always take any vertical games and it will frame them into a 4:3 aspect ratio. So if you want to back out of this and go back to the main menu, press and hold the one player start button, go to exit, press exit. And so let's see what Miss Pac-Man looks like. So we're going to go down to M, S, P. Okay, over here we see Miss Pac-Man. So to get back from there to there, we're going to press the D button. And to get to here, to get into the search, we pressed B. And then we pressed A every time we found a letter. So B to get there, A to type each letter. Once we found the game we want, and we want to get from here back to there, it's the D button. Now we're back over here to Miss Pac-Man. And let's check it out. So to get into that, we're going to press the A button. And again, Pac-Man is a vertical game. It should technically not be able to display on a horizontal screen, but this board is able to solve that. And got to forgive the glare. I've got my flashlight on my cell phone here. But let's get in this guy and show you what it looks like. So you'll see that, again, it's framed 4:3 aspect ratio. It just gives you spaces on either side. But that is pretty cool. So to exit out of this game, you press and hold the one player start button, back to the main menu. And so I'm going to show you some of the game titles that are on this board. This board is awesome. It's got pretty much every arcade game ever made between 1980 and, gosh, probably up to like 2001. You've got like, let's see here, Galaga 88, Junior Pac-Man, Super Mario Brothers, Millipede, Pitfall, which is an awesome game. One of my favorites growing up. Cubert, of course, The Simpsons, Super Pac-Man, Ninja Turtles 2, Ninja Turtles, Tron, Excite Bike, Galaga, Super Mario Brothers, the best game ever made, ever, The Legend of Zelda. Let's go look at that one. I mean, this is really one of the best games ever made. I am 43, so that is right in my wheelhouse. I remember playing this in 4th grade. So we're going to exit out of Zelda, go back to the menu screen. Ghosts and Goblins is cool. Metroid, another amazing game. Castlevania. So these are not arcade games. This board combines both classic arcade games and original Nintendo games, NES games, Sega games, TurboGrafx 16, which was like a gaming console that came out right around the same time Sega did. One of their cool games was called Keith, Courage, and Alpha Zones, and Splatterhouse, and a couple others. If you haven't heard of those, don't worry about it. I'm kind of a gamer. Super Mario Brothers 3, another awesome title. Legend of Zelda 2, Link. Mega Man, Double Dragon, Contra, Final Fantasy, Super Mario Golf. What else we got? Addams Family, Jeopardy, the original Contra, one of the best games ever made. Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA select start, gives you infinite lives. Madden, NBA Hang Time, and on and on and on. Sonic the Hedgehog, I'll show you that one real quick and then I'll end this video. It's getting kind of long. One of the other things I love about this board is it is lightning fast. There are other boards in the market that are older. The graphics are not nearly as good, like the 750-in-1 JAMA or some of the older Pandora boards. And just the fact that this board is $55. I mean, the previous iteration of a board like this was called the 3149 board, and it was $450. And I gotta be honest, it had a high fail rate. It had like a 5% fail rate, which may not seem like much, but when you're dropping 450 bucks on a board, you expect that thing to last forever. And I've had this board for like 6 months, no problems at all. Fires up every time. And I love exploring. I come out every day and just kind of randomly scroll like this and then stop and press the start button and see what comes up. See, I don't even know what this game is, but it looks pretty cool. Oh, I've heard of this game, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. That was a popular game. But again, one of the other things that you can do in the setup, and so on the side of the board, there's a little button. I'll show you this one here. It's a different board, but it's the exact same concept. There's that little button there. So right when you turn the machine on the screen, something will flash. It'll say enter setup. When it's saying enter setup, you press that little button on the board, and then you're going to go into the setup mode for this cabinet. And in there, you can create a favorites list. You can deactivate games if you don't think they're appropriate for your kids. There are some kind of risque games on this board. They're not hardcore. They're like Budweiser pinup girls from the 80s. And it's like a Tetris game where you remove puzzle pieces and it shows the girls in a bikini. I don't care about that, but there are some people that are not okay with that, or if you've got really young kids. But again, here's the front of the cabinet. Obviously, that coin door ships with that on there. That door opens up. That's where your coin mechanism is. There's your game board. And again, this cabinet is on wheels. It does have 4 speakers. And again, that backlit marquee there is interchangeable. If you want something different, let us know. I'll show you what the back looks like here. Nothing too exciting. There's a cooling fan, and you'll have to forgive me. I'm in my garage, and it's tiny. I live in California, and so we get one-car garages out here. Anyway, if you have any questions about this machine, let me know. This is my personal favorite cabinet, and this board is awesome. Bear in mind, though, this is a JAMA-compatible cabinet. It'll play any JAMA board. If you just go on Google right now and type buy a horizontal JAMA board, and there's literally thousands. But this one is the best one that I have found, and this board, the information for this board is in the product description on the website. And I should just point out, I do not include that board. I am not licensed to sell this machine with that software. That's why I showed you the board. It's funny because I've had some people say, well, wait, there's no games in it. You're just selling me an empty cabinet. And it's, I'm selling you the same thing other arcade companies are selling you. I'm just letting you buy your own $50 board, and I'm not charging you $500 to $1,000 extra for installing that board for you. So there it is. But literally, to plug in the board, you get the cabinet, you open the front door, you take that, you do that. I mean, if you can charge your cell phone at night, you can plug the board in. Harness, VGA cable, turn it on. There's a power cord that comes zip tied to one of the joysticks, and you plug it in and you're good to go. Okay, I'm rambling. Oh, one thing I should point out. As you're watching this video, in the upper right-hand corner, right about there, you're going to see like 3 little dots, right? Push those dots, and then down here somewhere, you're going to see something that says playback speed. You can watch this video at 1.5 speed, and that way you can take an 18-minute video and make it like a 12-minute video. Because if you're shopping around, I'm sure you are not looking to spend 5 or 6 hours looking at different companies. You're kind of trying to figure out which company you're going to go with. Last thing I'll say is be sure to check out my reviews. Click on the Google link on the top right-hand side of the website. I am insane about making sure that I get all 5-star reviews, and that starts with selling you a product that is very nice and that has been thoroughly tested, and then making sure that you're completely happy with it. And so we make these. We don't buy these. We are a professional cabinet making company with a background in kitchen cabinetry and carpentry, and also electrical work. And so we wire these things up, and they are nice. If you have any questions, 408-649-0410, 408-649-0410. Awesome Arcades. Thanks.